Hi there, I'm Christine with Torrance Citi CABLE, and today I am out here at Smog City Brewing with Lori Porter, one of the owners here. We got together a few weeks ago and I created a story that I wanted you to watch.
May would have been our 9-year anniversary at Smog. Last 2 years we've had these giant events out in our parking lot, and we invite all of our customers in and we have a big celebration, and this year we did it on Zoom.
Adjusting to new norms has been the story of Lori Porter's life since the coronavirus pandemic threatened to shut down her family business.
I keep joking that craft beer is clearly essential because people continue to buy it, but really the truth is that customers are really invested in small businesses and companies that they're loyal and love.
When the stay-at-home mandate began, Lori said she had to take a step back and reassess how to move forward.
We took it down to bare bones. We canceled every subscription. We canceled every expense that we could not have. We took all of our employees, and they were either absolutely essential to continue or we had to furlough them for a short term.
Determined to transform every obstacle into an opportunity, she and her team started to think outside the box. For example,
we got a phone call from our distributor saying, hey, we've got all these kegs that we purchased in the 2 or 3 weeks before the safer at home mandate, and there's no bars and restaurants. So now you're gonna have to buy back oodles, hundreds and hundreds of kegs from us. And we started doing the numbers. I'm like, this is insane. We can't, after what we have taken, the hit we've taken over COVID, we can't now double down on this debt from our distributor.
Still, she says they bought back some of the beer, started a Save Our Beer campaign, and even hand-delivered them to their customers for the first time.
We always thought it would be fun to deliver beer, and seeing the smiles on the customers' faces made it so amazing.
Another problem they faced was having to rebrand beers that were already slated for release.
And when my husband told me that Deliveries was ready to release on the Wednesday after the safer at home mandate, I was like, that is the worst name. Nobody wants to see a beer called Daily Breeze in the middle of the scariest pandemic in the history of all of us. And so we instantly changed it to Quarantine Machine, and it took off.
Now Lori says they're introducing a series of 5 COVID-19 inspired beers, each one getting stronger than the last, all wearing a mask, pairing well with uncertainty, and best enjoyed 6 feet apart.
You know, the first month and a half, it was really unstable. There was a lot of insecurity and fear. You're going back and forth trying to figure out how to either save your company or whether you're going to close or whether regulations are going to change. But in that time, we also found and sort of dug really deep into our skill set of survival instincts and found an amazing strength in our company to be able to pivot it to new opportunities and new outlets very quickly to survive and then sort of come out in an equilibrium.
Learning to roll with the punches allowed Smog City to rehire most of its employees.
Toby here is actually transferring one of my favorite sour browns into Benny, which is this big, beautiful barrel. We call the beer Benny and the Bretts. But yeah, so I think we had 28 employees before COVID. All of them but 2 have come back, and we're actually looking at hiring employees.
As the world continues to reopen, Lori says they're actually planning to expand beyond their 3 existing locations.
We have a 4th tap room that's been in the works for 2 years. It was supposed to open in June, and of course with COVID everything slowed down, but now the developers say they're going to be opening as soon as possible. So that one is Glendora Public Market. It's in Glendora out the 210. It's going to be such a beautiful space. It's an old historic Wonder Bread facility. I think our licensed space where you can actually drink our beer is about 5,000 square feet. So it's enormous. It's got indoor and outdoor. There's going to be food vendors throughout the marketplace that you can get food from. I'm excited about it, but it's also scary because moving into a whole nother business in the middle of this is daunting. Welcome home, Mama and Papa. When you had done so much work, just sit down here and have a beer. And then there's an arrow saying, beer!
Lori and her husband prioritize their son as they work together during this pandemic and hope they can teach him a valuable lesson.
I think it's inspiring for him to see what we've done and how we work. We always joke that he's the 3rd board member because he's always in the middle of all the conversations, and he actually has a lot of opinions. So I think it's a dynamic and rich life that he's living. I focus on him a lot. I take him to school in the morning, I go to work, I pick him up from school in the afternoon. Now I'm with him all day, and so I really prioritize family. I prioritize him as the next generation, that if I fail him, then what's the point of doing well with Smog? So it's challenging. You know, I always love those I love the memes where it's just like moms just can't be perfect in everything. You're gonna fail at all of it. But at least we're working really hard and trying, and we're filled with love, and we love our business and our jobs and our family, so.
Lori says she's excited to welcome back Smog City fans as tap rooms reopen.
Tap rooms will look different. We're going to be expanding our licensed premises here into the parking lot. There'll be more outdoor patio space, open air space to give us room for customers to have separation, but also have the open air with plenty of circulation.
She hopes their beers have helped them to stay afloat during these hard times.
I told my husband on the first week, I said, what would be most important to me through the next who knows how long, we thought it would be a month or two, was for our customers to have had smog with them during the pandemic, so that we were part of the positive side of it, that they thought back and said like, oh yeah, we had those happy hours with saber-tooth squirrel or coffee porter got me through my evenings. Now that we've spent 3 months apart, it's going to be even more important to find connectivity and to come back together.
Lori sent me home with a few of her favorite beers. This one is called White Peach Saison. It is actually made with farmers market peaches. Isn't that cool? This is coffee porter. It's her absolute favorite. And then I love the artwork on these. It's called From LA with Love. And I think it pretty much summarizes why I love craft breweries so much, especially during a time like this. It reminds me that I'm a part of this beautiful LA community, especially during the moments that I'm feeling isolated or lonely because of COVID-19. Well, Lori, since we filmed that story together, so much has changed, as things typically do these days with this pandemic.
Feels like our business changes by the hour at this point. You know, we're constantly adjusting and adapting to the situations that are coming down from the state and county. Right after you and I met, we were able to open our tap room for a blessed 2 weeks, and it was amazing. We had a 4,000 square foot outdoor patio seating area with food vendors that showed up every day, and it was a really wonderful and invigorating time. And then unfortunately, as you know, we came up on the rollbacks, and so breweries in LA County are actually not allowed to partner with caterers or third-party vendors like a food truck anymore. Unless you have your own kitchen on site, you can't be open. So we've had to roll back to to-go sales and home delivery, and adjusting back to the old ways.
Mm-hmm. So tell me about this reality of overcoming yet another obstacle, because you know we talked about so many ways you guys got creative during these difficult times. I mean, how's that momentum right now?
It's hard to get momentum. It's really difficult because we're, you know, when we in the beginning it was just go, reinvent, and then we got to the reopening phase, and we're like, okay, this is the new situation. We hired back all of our employees, we did all of our protocols, everything, you know, it was a lot of complicated situations that happened, but we got up and running. And then we're almost immediately returned to pre-opening situation with the to-go. And unfortunately for us, you know, fortunately for restaurants, but for us, restaurants are allowed to be open. And so we've not seen the bounce back of revenue that we were hoping. We haven't been able to return to that pre-reopening situation that we were in. So we're trying to be creative again. We're looking at ways to make our virtual marketplace more attractive, more educational, more engaging. We're working with our state and county associations to try and talk to the Board of Supervisors and LA County Health to figure out exactly why we have these limitations on our specific industry.
Yeah.
So, you know, we're kind of at this point pivoting a little bit away from trying to be creative in our business and more pivoting towards trying to really understand what the regulations mean for us, how long they're going to last, and what we can do as we move forward.
And you said you have a lot of loyal customers that call on a daily basis?
All the time. Our staff is so fed up with it because they have to say no. So we get calls all day, every day, asking if they can drink on site. And of course, as soon as we say no, they go somewhere else. So it's difficult on our staff especially, because I think that they thrive on the community and the customer interaction. They really thrive on having a relationship with the customers that come in and our fans, and it's just been real tough.
And I mean, this is just one example of one brewery, but Torrance is known for having a lot of local craft breweries, and so it's affecting all of them, right?
Yeah, I think we have a small handful one or two that are allowed to be open because they have kitchens on site and a health department permit for that location. But all the rest are closed down. So, and back to go. Not technically closed, but they're selling to go and doing home delivery.
What is the one thing that you want viewers to take away from watching your story? Well, thank you, Lori, so much for spending a few minutes with me today.
Absolutely, Christine. Thank you for coming back and seeing me and checking in.
Definitely, and thank you so much for watching at home. We'll see you again soon.